Aloha! My name is Naomi Hazelton, founder and publisher of Pacific Edge and Green Magazine Hawaii, the voice of sustainability in Hawaii. For many years now, we have created the annual Women in Business issue to continue giving voice to powerful women leaders in our islands. Tonight, our show marks the first of 3 Women in Business shows that we will be hosting to celebrate and honor these extraordinary women. In 2007, Pacific Edge magazine began hosting our Green Drinks event, and now we have grown to lead in hosting networking events revolving around sustainability. When I think back to my roots, growing up surrounded by Hawaii's beauty, I'm acutely aware of the need to protect and preserve our environment. By partnering with Hawaiian Legacy Hardwoods, we are bringing attention to a cause that we care deeply about. We are the first publishers in the United States to go carbon neutral. I'm so proud that Green Magazine Hawaii continues and strives to be the voice of sustainability here in Hawaii. And now our Women in Sustainability television program will become our next step. I am pleased to introduce these 4 incredible women leaders in this crucial field who will share their stories and spread inspiring, motivational messages of aloha. Be sure to visit our social media on Instagram at Pacific Edge, LinkedIn Pacific Edge Magazine, and Facebook Pacific Edge Magazine, YouTube as well. Remember that you too can make a difference with positive impacts in our world. Have a great night and aloha.
First things first, stances. You got goofy and regular. And this, I call the online chat with your bank. Great for when you're on the CPB mobile app. This is transferring money. And this, I call the paying your bills.
What's this one?
Oh, here's taking a nap.
Ha! Oh, gee, Carissa.
Enjoy Hawaii's top-rated banking app. It's digital banking the CPB way.
Central Pacific Bank.
Our islands are unique. Our challenges are too. By taking care of our communities, we make them stronger. It's part of our legacy. Hawaiian Electric, making sure everyone benefits as we work toward a sustainable future.
I'm Diana Ko, and we're talking with President and CEO Shelly Kimura of Hawaiian Electric. Welcome, Shelly.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Tell me about how your mission to create a better Hawaii for yourself, your family, and for everyone factors into your leadership.
Hawaii is home, and it's so special. And the beauty of Hawaii inspires me. The people of Hawaii inspire me, and it's worth protecting.
Well, you're in the right position to do it. So what is Hawaiian Electric doing to affect climate change?
As you may already know, we have been making great strides in implementing renewable energy. And so today we're at 38% renewable energy, and we're trying to achieve 100% by 2045 or sooner. And we also recognize that the reason why we're doing this is we're trying to reduce the carbon emissions of our generation.
So what can I do, like as a citizen, to do my part?
I'm really glad you asked that question because it's going to take all of us. We all have a piece of that puzzle that we need to contribute to. So Hawaiian Electric can do parts of this, but we recognized a long time ago that we can't do this by ourselves. And it takes our customers conserving energy, being efficient with their energy use, and it also requires almost every single home in Hawaii to have rooftop solar, particularly on Oahu, because there's just not enough land. So we really have to make use of every possible rooftop that we have. And we may even need to use offshore wind or things that aren't land-based because of those limitations.
What are the other renewable resources?
So we have, and it depends what island, but for example, on the Big Island, we have geothermal. That's a really important resource that is an important part of the mix for what we have on the Big Island. So that's why on Big Island, you can have a much higher percentage of renewables on any given day. We also have solar, we have wind, there's a little bit of hydro. There's new technologies, newer technologies like wave that is not yet at the stage where it's cost effective to use. Same thing with hydrogen, green hydrogen. It's something that has a promise for the future, but it's not yet affordable for us to implement. Electricity gets too expensive, then that can be a hindrance to Hawaii adopting significant amounts of renewable energy.
It wasn't on this list here, but I am always curious to know how being a woman informs your methods.
When I got this role, someone told me to really think about this role in the same way I think about being a mother. And I thought that was really interesting, and it made me pause, it made me think, and that perhaps a lot of my leadership style may stem from the same place as my philosophies on being a mother. And I think that's the same way I approach thinking about our employees. I want to make sure our employees are well taken care of. I want to make sure that they have the confidence to do the really ambitious work that we have to do. And I think that sense of taking care of people also extends to the land and the ocean, and what I talked about earlier in terms of just feeling like we have such a responsibility to this place and to care for it for generations.
Shelley, you're such an inspiration and so thoughtful and so brilliant. And I definitely relate to the part about mom. Yeah, I think a lot of ladies in the audience can relate who are mothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a special job.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank
That
you.
is President and CEO Shelley Kimura of Hawaiian Electric. We'll be back.
Go get him. No, you go get him. Go.
Hey, what you kids doing?
Hey, no need to take Auntie's lychee, cause it's back. Keep those kolohe at bay and satisfy all those cravings with Lychee Dream. Always fresh, nutritious goodness. Served with aloha. Jamba Hawaii.
Welcome back. We are talking with Julie Hong. She is the Indo-Pacific Operations Director at Jacobs, which is a global engineering firm, almost 60,000 staff worldwide, with, of course, a presence here in Honolulu. But could you tell us a little bit more about Jacobs?
Yes, Jacobs is a professional services company, and we offer engineering, environmental, and energy services and data solutions to make a more sustainable and connected world.
Tell us a little bit more about the unique solutions that you do tailor for your clients, mitigating the impact of climate response for, say, natural disasters.
So for our DoD clients, we are kind of changing the equation for them when it comes to sustainability and climate change. So for example, we have been working at Tyndall Air Force Base, which was devastated by Hurricane Michael. And basically they had to create a base from scratch and create an installation of the future. So they created several pilot projects to enable engineering by nature, with nature. Jacobs is in lockstep with our clients, collaborating with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Air Force, small businesses, and it definitely takes a village.
Do these solutions include sun, wind, water, or just all of the above depending on where it's appropriate?
It's very tailored to the location. So obviously in Hawaii, the sun is a major factor. We also support some clients in overseas countries like Singapore and Japan, Korea, that we can take our local understanding, resources, understanding of the culture, and then we can pull in resources from outside of Jacobs and get the best of all of the talent that's out there.
Tell me about the sensibility that you think a female perspective brings to the STEAM industry.
I definitely think that women have a lot of compassion and empathy, and they see things from different perspectives, and I think that's absolutely necessary for the sustainability and meeting those goals and thinking about society as a whole. And so I think we definitely add that to it, and so I think diversity definitely matters. What's really exciting to me is that 50% of our executive leadership at Jacobs is female. And we're also seeing a trend in the sustainability field where now 58% of executives in the sustainability field are women. And so we're definitely seeing progressive measures to see and promote and empower women in this field. And I'm actually one of the starting members of WIRE, the Women in Renewable Energy, which was founded by Dawn Lippert. And we pulled together some of the power leaders in Hawaii, and they really helped us create this hui of women who want to educate each other. You know, we wanted to have a seat at the table, and we noticed that it was mostly male. And so we created this nonprofit to ensure that every woman has a seat at the table.
So as we're talking about inclusion and diversity, you actually just acquired a new company called Streetlight?
Yes, we just acquired this company called Streetlight. It's a data company, and it identifies underserved communities and helps our clients more effectively plan infrastructure or transportation systems for them. So it is unprecedented in the sense that we are really enabling our clients and organizations understand how to address some of the disadvantaged communities and to ensure that the Justice 40 features are incorporated into it.
Julie Hong, Indo-Pacific Operations Director for Jacobs. It has been a pleasure talking to you. You are very inspirational.
Mahalo nui, Diane. It's been a pleasure. Aloha.
And we will be back.
The reason why I came to La Pietra was to become a leader.
La Pietra is definitely setting them on a path to find their purpose. I don't think we would be here if we didn't have the financial aid, and I feel like they invested, we also invested.
La Pietra really idolizes their students as leaders. That really helped me a lot to gain my confidence and to chase after my passions.
It made me a better learner, that whatever I can do in life, I'll do it better.
La Pietra, raising women of purpose on purpose.
The business owners, the ones who burn the midnight oil and see the sunrise, those who carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, but never their faces, the hand wringers, the bean counters, game changers, and miracle workers, the ones who have everything on the line, their property, equipment, the people who count on them. We protect all of it. HEMIC.
What is an Oiwi leader? Do they move people with their words? Do they let their actions speak? Do they breathe life into the past? Do they have a vision for the future? We celebrate every Oiwi leader who are all of these things and more. Together, they're helping our La Hui rise.
Aloha mai kākou, and we are back talking with Kanakolu Noa. She is the Interim Director of the Sustainable Industries Division of the Community and Aina Resiliency Group at Kamehameha Schools. Welcome, Kanakolu.
Aloha.
I'm so excited to be talking to you. You are so interesting.
Thank you for having me.
You have to tell us about your background first in Hana because it feeds into the work you do today.
So I actually was born and raised in Hana, Maui, in the ahupa of Kawai-Papa on a loko ea. It was actually a beautiful upbringing. When we talk about sustainability, it's really about a way of life. And I was absolutely blessed and honored to be a part of that upbringing where, you know, we really lived off the grid. Coolers were absolutely essential because we didn't have refrigeration. So, you know, we had lobsters for breakfast. We traded with all the other community members that grew vegetables and coconut and papaya. And so when we think about that experience and what that kupuna knowledge, you know, was passed down to, that's really the heart and soul of, I think, our Hawaii's sustainability.
And how does that background relate into the work you do today for Kamehameha Schools?
You know, I feel like I went full circle. I stepped into Kamehameha as an educator, as a curriculum director, and then now I'm back to Aina and really thinking about the power of Kamehameha Schools, our commitment to Aloha Plus Challenge, to the global UN sustainability goals, and now we're looking at food systems as a critical piece to how we contribute to that. As you know, one of the largest landowners, we have 364,000 acres. That is a part of our portfolio, both conservation, natural cultural resources, as well as agricultural lands that have the power to really make that systemic change in food systems.
Can you give us an example of some of the programs then that your division does?
Well, one of the more radical things we were able to establish was the $10 million Food Systems Fund that's really looking at how do we build this economic resilience within our communities and how important it is for us to invest into our communities differently, as well as acknowledging that Kamehameha Schools, you know, we're one of those unique entities that we see the whole food systems pipeline from growing supply to manufacturing, distribution in our commercial lands, in the industrial spaces, to our campuses, which is one of the largest restaurants in Hawaii, right? Our keiki consuming. And so we have so much power in that. So our commitment to 50% buy local on our campuses is going to be a huge change indicator, as well as really looking at building agricultural businesses as well as value-added product and thinking about branding.
You are such an interesting kanaka o iwi wahine. So let me take the interview full circle and ask you, like, what was your life path? Because you are very interesting. You've been all over and then you've come back home.
Sure, yeah. So, you know, I have to start with my kupuna and my ohana. So I have 9 siblings. I have 7 brothers and 1 sister. And then being able to be born and raised in Hana, and then, you know, when I was 13 years old, moving to Kuli'o'o, where my tutu had a catering business, Hawaiian food catering business, and then having the opportunity to go to college on the continent, and then living overseas for 7 years. And yeah, the path has been a journey, but a very blessed one. And I think food has always been an essential part of that journey, you know?
I love it.
Yeah.
Ho'omaikai, thank you so much for not only talking with us today, but being such an inspiration to the community and to women and girls who might want to ascend into shoes like yours.
Oh, mahalo nui for having me.
Living pono is an important part of our culture at Watanabe Floral, treating everyone with aloha and putting people first. We are committed to working for a healthier community and brightening days with the joy of flowers. Watanabe Floral, bringing happiness to you.
UHA was founded by physicians, and the caring that physicians have for people really powers our company. We help businesses create healthier workplaces. We make accessing care simple for our members, and we strongly support our community. This year, UHA celebrates 25 years of better health, building connections with people through a caring heart. That's UHA.
In Hawaii, we sometimes struggle to keep things cool. But heating things should be easy. Replace your electric water heater with a heat pump. It uses our naturally warm air to heat water more efficiently. Get a $500 rebate and save up to 40% on your energy bill. Learn more at hawaiienergy.com/heat pump and be the coolest person on the block.
Welcome back. We're talking with Interim Executive Director Caroline Carl from Hawaii Energy. As a woman in a very male-dominated field, we are impressed with how you have risen to the top. Can you tell us more about yourself and perhaps even go into your background as to where your love for energy efficiency began?
For me, my passion for environmental science started really early. In high school, actually, I had a tremendous environmental science teacher that really drove me to explore both the intersection of our community with development and our environmental resources. And that really continued to snowball. In college, I did my senior year semester in Panama, where you got to really dive in on how our systems of development are impacting environmental resources, especially water, energy. And it was there that I got really excited about sustainable energy systems. But nothing's a linear path. So I went back home, I started working in an investment research firm in New York City, but it wasn't for me. And I landed in Kona in 2007, and I started working with an amazing organization, the Kohala Center, that looks at the Big Island as a living laboratory, a place to build education, learn, and utilize our natural resources sustainably. And since then, I moved full-time into the energy efficiency role. I started as an energy advisor, and I became deputy director in 2015. So it's been over a decade of passion.
And so multicultural too, because you went from Connecticut to Montreal to Panama, New York City, and then finally here, where you're making your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I have two daughters who were both born here, and we are raising them. They're my little energy advisors at home. So they catch us on all the things that we may be doing wrong, like, leaving the lights on, and very aware of all the importance of our ecosystem here and how it's all connected.
Well, you guys obviously walk the walk and talk the talk, because when I drove up into your garage, I noticed that all the lights were turning on as, is it motion activated?
Yeah, motion sensors. Yeah, in commercial garages, it's actually a really big energy saving initiative. So we knew you were coming, so we turned it on.
Thank you. But what is the difference though between energy efficiency and sustainable energy, renewable energy?
It's a great question. When we think about climate change and clean energy, there's actually two pieces to it. We have what we use, so our demand, and then how it's produced, so how it's generated. And energy efficiency is what we use in our energy footprint. So within our homes, what we consume, how much we have plugged in, all of those things, we can be much more efficient by doing, upgrading our technologies. It's essentially getting the same amount of work with less energy.
As a mom in the home, I'm the one with the power strip, and I'm like, we're going to turn this off if we're not using it. But I think it's harder for businesses to perhaps implement some of these energy efficient techniques. Is there a cost involved? Like, what are the challenges for them?
Our programs are here to address that first cost barrier. So that really is one of the main things that we find serving businesses from small mom and pop all the way up to, huge skyscrapers. That first cost can really deter people from making the investment in something that will ultimately save them over the life cycle. And that's where Hawaii Energy comes in. We are really targeted in the way we design our incentives to help offset that first cost and give people the confidence in making these investments that will save them over the long haul.
Thanks for talking to us, Caroline Carl, Interim Executive Director of Hawaii Energy, and we'll be back.
Aloha, I'm Nicole Brody.
And I'm Nicole Lemus Rodriguez.
And we're the directors of the residential and commercial programs at Shifted Energy.
And our technology empowers all residents, including renters, to reduce energy bills and support clean energy.
Our inclusivity and diversity promote the innovative thinking needed to tackle big problems like climate change and energy justice.
That's why we're proud to be a part of this year's Women in Sustainability program, alongside other change makers building a cleaner, brighter future for Hawaii.
Hi, my name is Lisa Neginskaya. I have been an esthetician for over 17 years, and I love making people feel and look beautiful. Here at the EN Signature Brows and Beauty Studio, I offer a vast variety of beauty treatments. For more information on services and prices, please visit our website at www.en-beauty.com. You can call us at 808-797-5757 to schedule your complimentary consultation.
All right, Caroline, when was the last time you cried?
In the car on the way here. And not from a place of real sadness, but just of recognition of how much what we're coming out of and how much we have done. And I've got two beautiful girls and we are rushing all the time, and we were in the car and we put on music and we were all singing together, and it was Friday afternoon and it was perfect.
I love that. Thank you. Shelley, do you believe people are at the whim of destiny or that they can create it themselves?
I think it's a little bit of both, honestly. I think that we're all put on this earth for a reason, and I think it's up to us on whether we embrace that or not, and whether we search for that or not. And we have to take that kuleana and really hold it close, but also share it with others.
I love that. Thank you. Ooh, this might be tough. If you could bring 3 things with you into your next life, what would you bring?
I would bring a journal that I've kept for the last, through COVID, just so I can remember all the great memories and all the cool things that I did, which was kind of outside the box. I would bring a bottle of wine, because that really did get me through the pandemic. And I would bring a photo of my 12-year-old daughter, Sophie, because she just, she made me cry this morning a little bit, just because she's just amazing. She won her first water polo game today, 10-4, and I'm just so, she's my everything.
That's beautiful, thank you. If you could give your younger self one bit of advice, what would it be?
I think I would say don't lose your imagination. So keep your childlike spirit, because I think imagination is such a powerful healer. And I think women are kind of the best at it. We imagine different days. We imagine how to take care of our keiki before we get them. We imagine a beautiful world for the family that, you know, so I just, yeah, imagination.
Well said, thank you.
Cheers! Yay!
Thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight for our first ever Women in Sustainability television program. For more behind the scenes, content, and special extras, be sure to visit our social media channels at Pacific Edge on Instagram, Pacific Edge Magazine on LinkedIn, Pacific Edge Magazine on Facebook and YouTube. Remember that you too can make a difference with positive impacts in our world. Have a great night and aloha.